I have no time for games.
What's up, guys? This is the Gaming Fanboy here, and welcome to another Hearthstone video. So today we're going to be talking about the Priest cards. I'm going to be making a review for each one of the classes, each one of the cards. So let's go ahead and get into it. Let's begin the Cobolts and Catacombs Priest card review. First off, we have Dragon Soul. 3 mana, 0/3, summon a Dragon Spirit. This card is absolutely terrible. So, first of all, when you play this card on turn 3, you're doing nothing, right? Boom, turn 3, boom, I'm equipped. Doing nothing. Second of all, if your opponent drops an ooze, you feel really bad right afterwards, right? No recovery, no nothing, just boom. So you can't play this on turn 3. So you want to play this on a turn where you can maybe summon a dragon immediately. So let's say you use 3 1-mana cost spells, or let's even pretend and say you use a Circle of Healing, which costs 0 mana, right? And you drop this on 3, or you drop this on 5, so that's 3 mana. You Powered Shield something, you Potion of Madness something else, and you Circle of Healing. That's the dream. That is the dream, right? The dream. And boom, it's a 5/5 on board, right? Why didn't you play Cobalt Scalebane? that's the problem. You could have just played a Cobalt Scalebane, and you would have got the same effect with the end of turn effect that's better, right? And it's a dragon. And you could have held it in your hand for dragon mechanics. You know, that's pretty much what that comes down to, right? Instead of wasting 3 cards to summon a 5/5. The problem with this weapon is this turn. I don't know why Blizzard made it this turn. If they had made it that after you cast 3 spells, period, summon a 5/5 dragon, it would have been better, because that means that you summon a 5/5, whatever, the dragon comes out, it's just, and you just keep cycling into it, right? You know, you just, every so often you're playing, boom, a dragon comes out, right? If you remove the weapon, you remove the weapon. But, you know, to make it this, to force somebody to make that happen this turn is crazy. The deck I'm probably going to try with this is, I'm probably going to do a N'Zoth, not a N'Zoth, a Yogg-Saron, Dragon Soul, crazy, no minions deck. that's where I'm at mentally when I look at this card. But and just because that Dragon Spirit looks like it's gonna look amazing in gold, I want a gold one. But other than that, this card is just, there's no world where I just don't see any standard 5 mana dragon minion just being better. Duskbreaker. This card is disgusting. It is amazing. If you're holding a dragon, deal 3 damage to all of the minions. A lot of times, priests have issues getting up to and past turn 4 dragons, because there's just not a lot of things they can do between turns 1, 2, and 3. The best dragon is like a fairy dragon. It just doesn't do anything, you know? Most of the time you get it for like the hold effect. And then you have the little 1/3 that discovers the dragon, just that has no board strength at all, or board presence. So on turn 4, this is just a card that can come down and nuke the board and just, you know, just start rolling into your big dragons. So this makes it so the deck has a aggro stomping mechanic while it can just roll into its game plan, right? So that makes this card very, very, very good, especially in the right hands. Resurrect 2 different friendly minions that died this game. Alright, so this doesn't suffer from the weapon problem. Yes, you can cast spells and it keeps adding up, and whenever you cast 4 spells, which is a lot, it can happen. The problem is this is competing with the new card Psychic Scream, which is just a better card in almost every situation. This can only work with Resurrect Priest. I don't see this in a world where this is just any good, because even in Wild, like, Psychic Scream is better for Resurrect Priest than this. And if running 2 of these and 2 Psychic Screams is just too much. So I just don't see, maybe Death Rattle Priest, this can be a thing. But other than that, that's it. It's not a good card, guys. I don't see the world where this card is good. I mean, and not only that, it's a win more card, because if you're running Resurrect Priest and you resurrect 2 or more friendly minions, they're probably big minions. So odds are, if you made it to turn 7 and you had a big minion die, two or more times, because if Barnes dies, there's a chance you can summon Barnes. So for it to be consistent, you'd really want like 2 or more big minions to die, so it summons more big minions. But like if you've already resurrected something like twice, 3 times, 4 times, you're pretty much already winning the game anyway. And having this in the 7 slot is just like, it's just no, it's just pointless. I don't. This card just it should have been at least like 6 mana for it to be playable. It's just not at 7. Sonic Probe. So this card was supposed to help the weapon. It doesn't matter. A lot of times, unless you're going up against a rogue, the spells you get are going to be too huge to play that turn anyway. Maybe this plus Pine Size plus Circling. But like I said, if you play that 3 mana card and 3 spells, that first turn, that first time you get a dragon, you could have just played a Cobalt Scalebane. Then you don't start getting value till the second time you play a dragon. So you don't get value on a little bit of value now, mind you. A little bit of value until you play the second wave. Because, by after 3 mana, you pay 3 mana worth of stuff, that's 6 to get 1/5/5. You pay 3 more mana, that's 9 to get another 5/5 with no effect. That's just a dragon that's not in your hand, that's just not considered holding. Now, another thing I just thought about is maybe if the weapon had said, while this is equipped, you are considered to be holding a dragon, that would be a good card. That would be a pretty solid card. If while the weapon was equipped, it was considered a dragon, or if it was in your hand, it was considered a dragon, then that would be pretty good. But it's not. So, no, it's just a dream. Psychic Scream. I already made another video on this. You guys can look at my channel and see the video. I hate this card. I hate everything about this card. I don't know why they released this card. This card is just stupid. It's like, hey, let me just remove everything on the board and give your opponent terrible draws afterwards. Let me just do that. Let me just ruin my opponent's game plan. And let me just Psychic Scream this all back. Right? Now the thing about it is that once Kazakus rolls out, but it's not going to be that good because you can't really run this in Dragon Priest because you just don't want to give your opponent a bunch of big dragons. But I mean, if it's an emergency button, right? In case, oh shoot, I'm getting swarmed, click button to respond. It's still not bad. It's like a better Twisting Nether because realistically, let's look at Twisting Nether, right? When you get doubled, when you're playing Control Warlock against Control Warlock, and you get double Twisting Nethered and Life Stole and Gul'dan, and there's all kind of stuff going on, and your minions are just getting decimated left and right. The problem isn't that you're running out of your deck. The problem is that you're running out of cards in hand, right? And that is what this Psychic Scream card takes advantage of. The fact that you're not running out of... It's not about you running out of deck. It's about you running out of cards to play. And if you're in a situation where you're in top deck mode and you're looking at a priest with like 10 cards in his hand, just waiting to see Kazakus and Anduin, or just waiting, or every turn you're drawing a big fat dragon and dropping it on your face, Deathwings and all this kind of craziness is just coming at you live. That's the problem with Psychic Scream. It puts you in a position like Warlock where you just can't keep anything on the board to kill them, but the only difference is in Warlock, their hero power hurts them and it puts them low, so they need these board clears to survive. Priests don't need that. They're always healthy. You basically have to 2 to 3 turn kill them to kill them. So in Psychic Scream, it's just going to be very problematic. It's going to be an issue. I see something about priests getting nerfed, maybe not this, because Blizzard wants to sell these packs. They're probably going to try to hit something else that's not relevant to this. Granted, Kazakus Anduin should have been touched already, but we'll get into that, onto how we could fix that in another video. But as of right now, I don't like Psychic Scream. I hate the number slot it's in, and I hate what it does. Temperance. Battlecry, your opponent takes 2 turns and you take 2 turns. 7 mana, 6/6. Don't let your memes be dreams, boys. Temperance is one me mystic card. This card could have been better. See, the thing is, I don't understand why Blizzard doesn't. If you're gonna make an effect this crazy, this insane, this ridiculous, right? To give your opponent 2 turns to just push your face in, it should have been like a 7-mana 6/6 taunt, or maybe a 7-mana 8/9, or something for such a downside like that, right? So a situation where they have to try to kill this and kill you, but at a 7-mana 6/6, I'm not saying it's weak, but I'm just saying your opponent can probably just push over your face. This should have been a taunt. If it was a taunt, I would say this card is at minimal playable. But without the taunt, it's just, I mean, or it could have been a 5-mana card, because what you could have did at 5 mana is you could have dropped this and Doomsayer on 7. You know, that would have been good, because, you know, you boom, Doomsayer, boom, drop this, boom, Doomsayer, boom, 7. And then you could just been like, if you don't win these next 2 turns, I have this inner fire combo that's going to destroy everything you believe in. Everything you believe in is a lie, because you're about to get decimated by this, and you can't stop this pain train that's coming your way if you don't kill me in 2 turns. That's a cool dynamic. That I like. It puts a lot of pressure. It's just like a game clock, like countdown. You got 2 turns. Make it happen. You know, I love that aspect of it. I love the idea. I love the theme behind it. But I just think Blizzard is just a little bit off the mark with executing it. They should have at least given it taunt. That would have been good enough to make this card decently playable, or, you know, create those fun epic moments where it's like you're on the clock. Find lethal. You better find this lethal. You better figure this lethal out. So yeah, Temperance, cool card, but it's just falls flat in his face. I don't think it's any good. Twilight Acolyte. Oh man, I hate you. I hate how this card looks. I hate what it does. This card is so busted. Right? This card has to be probably the best 3-mana card I've ever seen. 3 battle cry. If you're holding a dragon, swap this means attack with another minions. So let's look at let's look at a couple of hypotheticals, right? You drop a Tyrion, right? On your turn 8. Tyrion comes down. Boom. Put your faith in the light. So you put your faith in the light, right? Your faith in the light. You're like, yo, I got this. You know, Tyrion's got me. Tyrion's got this gone down. You know, he's got this in the books. You know, Tyrion's my boy. Tyrion would never fail me. He got this, right? And then they drop this Acolyte. Now it's a 6/4. Then they Cabal Talon Priest it. Now it's a 6/4. You have a 2/6 Divine Shield that gives you a weapon and a 4/5 on the board on turn 9. The turn right after Tyrion was casted. That hurts. There's gonna be a world where that happens to somebody, and they're just gonna look at their computer like, why do I even play this game? Why do I even do this? Now, granted, you know, it's a stretch saying the Twilight Acolyte with Cabal Priest, because Cabal Priest is not a dragon, and ideally this is not a dragon. So you want to hold dragons in your hand, right, to make this work. But the existence of this card alone is just, there are going to be some just serious consequences. Because it doesn't even have to be Cabal Talon Priest, Cabal's Priest, whatever her name is. It can be a Potion of Madness, right? You know, you take a minion, you Potion of Madness it, and you kill it off while you get a huge attack buff. This card is just, the combo potential is disgusting. It is powerful. It is strong. Look, he's charging up a Hadouken, for God's sakes. Like, look at him. He has a Hadouken in his hand, ready to fire off and claim somebody with candles on his head. Like, look at him. Look at his face. Look how angry he is. He's just bitter. He's a bitter little acolyte who got problems. Who has issues. Next off, Twilight's Call. Summon 1/1 copies of 2 friendly Death Battle minions that die this game. I currently play a form of Kazakus, Death Rattle, Zoth, Quest Priest. And it does very well. Being very honest with you guys, it does very well. I just don't play it because I just feel bad because it's the same win condition, and you just machine gun down your opponent most of the time, and if you don't win by machine gunning down your opponent, you just Nazoth and you ruin their life, and they just question everything in existence because there's just nothing you can do to handle that. And especially like if you're going up against aggro, and a lot of times like you just drop that 5 mana 8/8 and you set your health to 40, your opponent just cringes and cries and concedes if he's aggro. So it can make that work, and it's a rare, so it's not bad. And I think this card will do very, very decently in Death Rattle Priest. I really think it will. I think this is the card that Death Rattle Priest needed to just be something, right? Maybe not tier 1, but definitely just to be something. So it's a good card for that, for the archetype it's supposed to represent. Arena, it's terrible probably, because sometimes you may not even get a Death Rattle minion, sometimes your Death Rattle minion won't even die. And it says friendly, so... Unidentified Alexei. Let's talk about this, right? So, to use this card, you need to actually have a board presence. So, that being said, since you have to have a board presence, the buff needs to be good, and it needs to fit an archetype. So let's look at the 4 buffs. Give a minion +2/+2 and Death Rattle, return this minion to hand. So this alone works with really well with Dragon Priest. It could work well with Kazakus Priest, because there's a lot of minions that you would love to return to your hand. Things like Kazakus and not Kazakus. Yeah, Kazakus himself, you know, some of the draw cards, stuff like that, you know. So this Death Rattle Priest, check. Silence Priest, maybe, because like you could no, not Silence Priest, no. So Death Rattle Priest, check. Kazakus Singleton Priest, check. Standard anything Priest, card returned to your hand for free. It's not bad. Check. Okay. Summon a 2/2 Elixir of Shadows. Give a minion +2/+2. Summon a 1/1 copy. Death Rattle Priest, definitely check. Kazakus Priest. Some of the draw cards can be good. It's not necessarily a check, but it's a possible check, right? Depending on how many, you know, draw cards you run and stuff. Because the second Acolyte of Pain is not bad. Stuff like that. So, summon a 1/1 copy of it. Kind of check, but definitely check for Death Rattle Priest. Give a minion +2/+2 and Divine Shield. A trade up potential with a 2/2 with keeping your minion on board. That's check all across the board. So right now we have Death Rattle Priest at 2, like 3 out of the 4 potions. Kazakus Priest can favor 2, but at least 3, because I think the summon 1/1 copy is still decent. So 3 out of 2. So we're staying between Kazakus Priest and Death Rattle, because at this point, you know, any other priest is just not really... They're looking at 2 out of 4, because Divine Shield and the Death Rattle one works for everybody. The 1/1 copy kind of sort of doesn't. So now let's look at give a minion +2/+2 and Lifesteal. That's the problem. The fact that, first of all, that's an option is a problem, because now it limits it to where 3 out of 4 is good for... 3 out of 4 is definitely good for Death Rattle Priest, no questions. And at least 2 out of 4 guaranteed is good for Kazakus Priest. And then the rest is just whatever. So what I will say is this card is a decent Death Rattle Priest card. But everything else, it's iffy. Because if you get the wrong buff at the wrong time, you get an Elixir of Shadows and Kazakus... Well, not Kazakus. If you get Elixir of Shadows and Dragon Priest, you're just going to be like, why am I using this? You get Elixir of Life and Dragon Priest, you're going to be like, why am I using this? You know, a lot of times. So between the 4 ones, I would say Kazakus Priest can use this. Maybe they could try to tech it in. Because also Lifesteal isn't too bad for them. I mean, it's not great. but it isn't too bad for them because the idea is that they want to survive till they get that combination, and lifesteal can help them, right? +2 on whatever minion plus an additional lifesteal it's pretty good. It's not bad. So my thoughts on Unidentified Elixir. It's not a bad card, but I just don't think it's gonna see a lot of constructed play. Maybe I could be wrong. Maybe the outcomes are just so strong. It sees it no matter what. As far as an arena, this card is gonna be absolutely amazing because a lot of times you just want to spell, you just want to buff, and this is a lot of times whatever it does is good. Getting Minion back to hand in arena is good. Giving Minion Divine Shield is good. Lifesteal not so much, but it's just a buff card. It's just a spell, so it's still good. Elixir of Shadow Summon, a 1/1 copy is still good. So yeah, I can see this doing really well in arena. Constructed, certain priests not so much. Death Rattle priests almost definitely. It should be decent in Death Rattle priests at a minimal. But that's about it. Gilded Gargle. Add a coin to your hand. Why is this a priest card? I don't understand. I don't understand why Blizzard does this. They make a card and they make it have a mediocre effect, then they understat it to the floor. Especially in priests who do not have an offensive hero power. Understatting minions should be a focus on classes that have a hero power that can affect the board state, right? Priests and hunters, stuff like that should never be understated, right? Which is the reason why, things like Priestess Feast is a good card, and just things like Animal Companion's a good card for hunter, stuff like that. And the fact that they keep giving you these priest cards, like, I don't know why. I mean, fortunately, priests have a lot of other broken cards they got in this set, but this particular card is just terrible. A lot of times you just don't want to play it. It doesn't do anything to the board. It just gets crushed by any 3-drop in known to man. In fact, it gets punished by 2-drops. It's a 3-drop. It gets punished by some 1-drops, right? And this is just terrible. This card is terrible. And the coin, it's really, for priests, it's just not that relevant. Priests don't care that much about coins. I mean, yeah, maybe there's like a Kazakus type situation where you can like push out an Anduin a turn earlier, or you can push out like a board clear turn earlier. But how often is that going to be relevant, right? It's just not. And this card is just, I don't know why they made it. This card is terrible. I hate everything about this card. I hate how it looks. I hate what it does. I hate everything about it. Alright guys, that's it. Thank you for watching my priest card review. I'll be releasing all the reviews today. Please stay tuned on the channel, and I'll see you guys in a bit.